Full transparency and disclosure. The audio voice generated for this podcast was produced using artificial intelligence. Hello, folks. This is an overview of the research work we're doing at the Center for Emergency Management Intelligence Research on the topic of swatting. Swatting is the intentional calling in a false report to local law enforcement and other first responders in order to generate a massive response to an unsuspecting and unaware victim. Today, this problem is amplified exponentially by the internet, the ease of access worldwide to U.S.-based communication systems, including our 911 system for emergency calls, and finally advances in artificial intelligence which are now outpacing the systems needed to validate and verify a true emergency call. This is a global concern, in that recently a number of swatting calls have been originated from countries outside of the United States, and in many cases without any laws preventing such false calls. With today's technology, it is nearly impossible to stop these calls from coming through, and even the investigation of the call after the fact is hindered by multiple agencies and even multiple countries being involved. These calls may be made on behalf of U.S. persons, but regardless of the source or origination or ideation of the threat, swatting calls, when acted upon by local public safety officials, can have hazards in the real world. What starts out as misinformation or even disinformation can become a life safety factor. And many of these swatting calls are aimed directly at U.S.-based K12 schools. We are doing research on anti-swatting. This is a whole-of-community, whole-cycle effort needed across the board in coordination, cooperation, and collaboration between the local public safety officials and the local school district. We will be posting our research in parts on the CMER Substack within the K12 channel. If you would like to learn more, please subscribe to the Substack or become a parliamentarian with the Center for Emergency Management Intelligence Research. You can learn more about the CEMER at www.cemir.org. This series will start off with an understanding of what the swatting call is all about, and then an overview of emergency management intelligence curation needed throughout the pathway to violence associated with swatting calls. Then provide an in-depth review of changes needed at Public Safety Access Points, or PSAPs. Following that is more research on the law enforcement official decision points and what we believe is a strong need to have a de-escalation process when unvalidated, unverified swatting calls come through. Then a review of the reporting decisions, connections to the school and the community resources, etc. And finally, a section on demobilization, a critical element after the massive response has been dispatched and arrives at a site such as a school, only to find out it was a false alarm. What happens next is important for everyone to be on the same page. Again, please subscribe to our Substack to get access to all of this detail and research at the CMER.substack.com.